Hello, my name is William from 222 Productions, and I am here to talk to you about the American Ninja Warrior Season 11 Oklahoma City Finals in approximately 20 minutes or less. But before I start the clock, I just want to let everyone know that recently I appeared on my friend Alex's game show, the Apex of Game Show, as a contestant. It was my debut on the series, and I competed in a trivia challenge against two other people. I will link to it in the description below, and so you can all watch and see how I did. And that got me thinking. I want to see in the comments what game shows you would like to see your favorite American Ninja Warrior competitors on. And for bonus points, name some competitors and how you think you can do. They would do. Personally, I would like to see some ninjas compete on the Double Dare course, getting all messy and stuff, because I think that would be funny and interesting to see. But that's just me. If you have any good ideas, let me know. Now, without further ado, let's start the clock right now. So, Oklahoma City. This was a good episode. I enjoyed it. Had a few weird stuff that I didn't care for, and there was a few. I wish they fit a few more runs in, but overall, I liked the episode as a whole. One thing I just wanted to point out is that they've been posting some fast-forward runs on YouTube, which is nice. But last week's Atlanta video was Tyler Gillette, but they started him mid-run at the Ferris wheel, which just got me thinking. It's like, what's the point of starting a YouTube run mid-run? It's YouTube. There's no time limit. You don't have to worry about time constraints or anything like that. Put the whole run on, That's just weird. Anyway, just a reminder of the course. We have a few changes early on. Of course, we have the strutting steps. And then we have the wing swing, which got the rare City Finals buff. Normally, obstacles get nerfed for the City Finals. This is one of the rare instances in which an obstacle got harder. There's no longer a rest bar in between the two swings. So you go from one trapeze to the next. There's no steady bar, so didn't really take anyone out, but it's technically harder. So the rare City Finals buff. And then we had the flywheels, which was nerfed because it's only 2 wheels now instead of 3, and they're at an equal height. Then the diving boards, which may or may not have been nerfed. I don't know. Those type of obstacles, it's hard to tell. Maybe the springs could have been tightened for all I know. And then we had the coconut climb, which was nerfed. It was nerfed, definitely nerfed a little bit. To my recollection, there's an extra hook going up the first horizontal section of the coconut climb to make it easier to make your way up, and the dismount rope is definitely closer. Those were 2 changes that I definitely noticed that made things easier. Then, of course, is the warped wall, followed by the salmon ladder. Then is the return of the crazy clocks. And like I said last time, I really enjoyed this obstacle. Just a reminder, is the obstacle you got to hold like this, and then you have to swing the arms around to get like this. And one thing that I liked is that they changed the object in the middle. Before, it was a relatively small ledge, and they changed it into a variation of an unstable bridge. And I like this change because I feel like too many people failed that middle section last year of the people who failed the crazy clocks, and instead it's now putting the focus more on the actual clocks section, the people have to fail that section, which I enjoyed. I like that part. And then there's a new obstacle called the snapback. I like this obstacle. I think this is really cool. Basically, you're holding onto this bar, it's going to drop down because it's on a teeter-totter. And you have to swing and grab the second bar this way. The old reverse grab. We get to see that again, but a much easier version. The catch is that as soon as you let go of the first bar, because it's attached to bungee cords, it's going to snap back up. So meaning your target is going from up to down, meaning that your aim is going to be a bit weird when you're aiming for the bar that you're holding on to. This is a really cool obstacle. Now, one thing that I want to point out, and this was kind of weird, is that I saw on Instagram there was a video of Akbar actually trying the snapback, but the thing is he wasn't trying it on the course. He was trying it on a replica section in what appeared to be the competitors area. And so it's like, did they actually let competitors practice the snapback ahead of time? Because that's kind of weird if they did. I know in Baltimore there was no obstacles to practice. There was a warm-up bar, and that's about it. No replicas. So that was weird. And then of course we have the spider trap. So we're gonna start things off with Jeff Harris, the waste warrior dressed up in the 70s. This was weird. This was a weird profile. It was like it felt like for like because talking about not littering and stuff. It felt completely separate from the ninja, anything ninja. But he looked good on the course. He like walked across the diving boards. Normally people are running, but he balanced himself. He did like walking across. That's why it kind of leads me to think that maybe they nerfed it. But also it's interesting because usually the balance obstacles are designed so that you can't rest midway. But he was able to stand on it by just balancing on both sides of the spring. So that's interesting. But yeah, he was able to do that easily. He made all the way a snapback before falling down. He's moving on to Vegas. He looked good on the course. And then we had Maggiethorne, which was actually kind of earlier than I thought she would. They would feature her. But okay, yes. So, oh boy, yeah, the diving boards. I was rereading my notes of what happened. I just sort of remembered what happened now. She had a big save on the diving boards where she fell, I believe it was on the third board, but she landed on face first, and she looked rocked. I was a little concerned that maybe, I don't know, she had a concussion or something. I don't know if she did or didn't. Wasn't able to get any sort of confirmation, but she looked rocked. She was able to complete the obstacle and save herself. She was very, cautious with her hands and where her hands went. I don't know if she was just making sure she didn't touch the water or maybe touch part obstacle she wasn't supposed to, but she was able to recover, and she made it all the way to the crazy clocks, which was great. She showed a lot of motion after being the coconut climb. And they made this comment, I'm just going to get through this briefly, about how she's the second mom up the warped wall. And it's like, well, technically they filmed it first before Tacoma, so she should be technically the first mom up the warped wall. But it's like I said before, the whole first mom to do something quantifier is oddly specific. So it's it's kind of silly to begin with. So I don't care about it that much. I'm thirsty today. We have some fast forwards. Elliot Jovelet is failed the crazy clocks, and that is not enough to move on. And Tyler Humphreys also failed the crazy clocks. Will not be moving on. And then Rick Hinnett, I believe. Hinnett, I believe it's Hinnett. From Shark Tank originally, her wife, he and his wife, there we go. They made a deal on Shark Tank. I believe it was Barbara and a clothing line, and then they went through this whole story about how, unfortunately, they lost their first child in the womb, which was very sad, and they turned it into a baby clothesline. It was a bit too bit too long and a bit too sad for my personal liking. But he had some close calls on the wing swing and on the flywheels, just sort of like with the landings and stuff like that. It looked kind of shaky, but he made it through. But he fell on the dismount of the coconut climb, and he's not moving on. Fast forwards, Chris Talon Green failed the diving boards, and then Kendall Ortiz failed the crazy clocks, and Ben Wales failed the snapback. Those three were all walk-ons, and two of them are moving on. Obviously, the one who failed the diving boards isn't. Karsten Williams, the fast cat. I like Karsten. He seems like a good dude. He's a big dude. I appreciate that. He's doing well. They kept saying how he has a history of failing the ninth obstacle, doing all this montage. And immediately I'm just like, I wonder what's going to happen. But no, he cleared the course. They finally showed the clock on the spider trap, and he looked good. His mom was there cheering him on. She was so happy for him. He was so happy to clear. First city finals clear in 5 years. Really happy for him. I always like to see people happy to complete the course. You can never knock that. So really glad about all that. And then Taylor Aman, once again from Team Ninja Warrior College Madness. She did pretty well in qualifiers, and now she's taking on the finals. They made sure that they pointed out the pole vaulter stuff. She was able to get revenge on the coconut climb, and she made it to the crazy clocks, but unfortunately her grip gave out and she went down. And they made sure to point out that she got there a minute faster than Maggie. And that's when I realized that Barkley's still left to go. And I'm like, oh no, is Maggie not going to move on? That's, we'll get to that in a second. Some more fast forwards. Brent Stephenson failed the crazy clocks. He's not moving on, unfortunately. That's a shame. And then Josh Salinas failed the snapback. Then we got David Wright. Cake Ninja, they featured him again. And as soon as I saw him get all the big features and stuff, I'm just like, he's clearing. I guarantee you they're clearing, because the whole cake stuff is just like, I don't know. I didn't think it would be enough to get featured in 2 episodes, 2 full runs in both qualifiers and finals. They showed him like eating a cupcake before his run, and I joked. I'm not serious about this statement. I just want to state for the record. But I joked with my friends, like, "Oh, that's his secret. The cupcake is filled with steroids." Obviously, that's not true. It's just what's actually happening is he's on an incredible sugar rush that it gives him enough energy for approximately 6 minutes, and he's able to give enough energy to go on and clear the course. Unfortunately, if he's on the course for more than 6 minutes, his blood sugar just completely drops. He has a sugar crash, and he'll be unable to complete the course. But fortunately for him, he finished in less than 6 minutes, and so he's going on to Vegas. I really wish they showed the clock. I'm going to keep mentioning this. Put the clock on the screen for all the runs all the time. I don't understand why they stopped doing this, especially in this season where time matters more than ever for the regionals, and now they don't put it on the clock. It's like it's the ultimate irony. Time finally matters, and they don't show us the clock. Jesus. But yeah, good on David. I don't know if he ever competed before this. I feel like he's a rookie. Yeah. Yes. I have actually right here. He's a 19-year-old rookie. So good on you, David. You did well. Then we got a montage recap of women making up the Warped Wall in the past. In total, we've had 16 people so far up to this point in the episode. And then they went to Karen Wilton, and she became number 17. And I asked this question last year. I'll ask it again. At what point do we stop like, making a big deal of a woman making it up the warped wall, you know, because I don't know if 17's that number, but at some point, we gotta start acting like it's not special anymore, because we gotta act like it's normal. Because that's the whole point of, like, treating men and women equally. You gotta act like women doing well is normal at some point, at least with some of the things. You know, if a woman clears stage 1 again, we'll act like it's a big deal because it is. If a woman clears stage 2 this year, again, we'll make a big deal of it because it is. But a woman making up the warped wall, I don't know. Are we there yet? I don't fully know, but there's going to come a point where we should act like it's not that big a deal, because that would make them more equal. You get what I'm saying? I hope I made that clear. But Karen Wilton made it up the warped wall. Unfortunately, she failed the bounce of the salmon ladder, which is... That's the worst way to fail the salmon ladder, because you don't even get to do the obstacle. You fail essentially getting on the obstacle, and that's just a sucky feeling, you know. Some more fast forwards. Chris Cambre also failed the salmon ladder, and Josh Banj failed the crazy clocks. And then we had Jody Avila, the big dog ninja. Oh man, so glad to see the big dog ninja back. Unfortunately, they started him mid-run at the coconut climb, but they showed the clock at the spider trap, and he made his way up, and gosh darn it, the big dog ninja cleared the course. Oh man, so happy for him. And most importantly, that means I get to say big dog ninja once again when we get to Vegas. I get to say it at least one more time, because even if he gets cut, when I do my big stage 1 wrap up where I list all the results, I will mention the big dog Jody Avila one more time. The fast cat Carson Williams and the big dog Jody Avila, both moving on. Cat and dog. It's raining cat and dogs, I guess. I don't know. It's great. I love it. I love doing this. I love saying big dog, big dog, big dog. It's great. Congratulations, Jody. You did great. You look good. You look really good on the course. More fast forwards. Jonathan Horn unfortunately went out on the salmon ladder, and Madeline McNeil went out on the coconut climb. And then we had our final woman in Barclay Stockett. She went to Africa to help some children build a course and stuff. And I remember her posting about it on Instagram and stuff, and good on her. She was definitely going for speed, and she made it to the crazy clocks the fastest. Actually, no, not the fastest. Made it faster than Maggie, and unfortunately, she went out on the second clock. But she is moving on. That means Maggie is not. And I feel really bad for Maggiethorne and Karen Wilton, because if this was LA or Atlanta, they'd both be moving on. Especially Atlanta. LA, maybe not so much because Tiana was in that group. But man, Oklahoma City had 4 women make it to the back half of the course. Between the first 2 regions, LA and Atlanta, only 1 woman of 10 made it to the back half, and so it's just, it's the unfortunate side of American Ninja Warrior with the regional format, is that sometimes you just get paired up against people who are tougher than you, and sometimes you get easier groupings to compete against. That's how it is, unfortunately. And in this case, both Maggie and Karen fell victim to the regional format. But good on Barkley. She looked good on the course. Some final fast forwards. Josh Norton failed the crazy clocks, and Abel Gonzalez also failed the crazy clocks. Neither of them moving on. And then we got Matthew Day. And this was a shock. He, for those of you who don't remember, he finished in second place last time. He challenged Daniel Gill for the speed pass, and he couldn't win. He failed to win, and he was going fast on the course, but on the coconut climb, he went too fast. On the dismount going, I'm going to say dismount, on the second half of the coconut climb going down, he missed the final hook. There's 2 hooks going down. He tried jumping over the first hook from the top so he can get to the second hook, but he went too far and missed it, and he went all the way down, and he was able to catch himself, but too low on the way down, and his back dipped into the water. That is an immediate disqualification because that's considered a course out, and unfortunately he's not moving on, and that's shocking. And that's just, that's that. Unfortunately, Matthew could have used the speed pass, but it didn't work out. So the last 2 were Daniel Gill and Matisse Waziri. I'll say this. So last week I mentioned about the whole trifecta thing. They did mention that Daniel Gill was going for the trifecta. They did not make a big deal out of it as they did with Drew. But one thing that they did do was around the middle of the episode, I don't remember the exact time, I didn't write it down. They did a quick little promo before commercial of Daniel Gill and Matisse Waziri staring each other down, cowboy style. Which, by the way, with all this cowboy theme going on in OKC, the fact that we didn't have an Old Town Road reference at any point or using the song, I feel like that was a missed opportunity to be a bit more modern and relevant with your music choices. Missed opportunity there. But they were but Matt in the promo was Matisse Waziri and, he said Kid Waziri, and Daniel Gill are going to have a speed showdown to see who can finish the course faster. And upon hearing that, I was just like, boy, I wonder who's going to go move on to the Power Tower. Huh. Is it going to be the 2 guys that they're promoting as really fast? Oh, look at that. It was. So Daniel Gill, he just looked very good on the course. He was really fast. 1:39 to the salmon ladder. Cleared the course with the fastest time, by far the fastest time of the night. And then they had Matisse Waziri. They show the clock at the salmon ladder, which I appreciate. And this was interesting because Matisse barely finished in second place. They made a big deal about Daniel and Matisse being speedsters, but he beat Karsten by less than a second. And so we almost had a Daniel Gill-Karsten Williams showdown, which that would have been interesting. I don't know who would have won, but it would have been interesting to see. And Matisse barely moved on. But it came down to the rivals, the teacher and the student. Daniel Gill, the number 1 seed, versus Matisse Waziri, the number 2 seed. This was a good race, but Matisse edged it out in the end. He was just faster than Daniel. I heard from some people who were there that Matisse ran earlier in the night than Daniel, so maybe that was a contributing factor. I know Daniel wouldn't use that as an excuse, but the other significant thing about Matisse winning is that this is the first time this season where we saw the blue side win in the Power Tower. That's right, all the qualifiers and the first 2 finals, red has won. So this is the first time we got to see blue win. Matisse won. He gets the safety pass. So he gets the ability to redo either the first or second stage should he fail one of those 2 stages. So it's going to be interesting. Also, I noticed that there was only 2 moments during the Bajabil moments. I still think the whole Bajabil moment thing is silly, and I would rather just see a bigger leaderboard with fuller results on the screen. But with that said, I have some full results here for you to kind of wrap up this review. So we had 31 competitors total. And of those 31 competitors, we saw 11 full runs and 1 run that was started mid-progress, as well as 13 fast forwards. I started channeling Pretty Fly for a white guy. Asked for 13, but they drew a 31. 33 fast forwards, which unfortunately means 6 people got cut. And by my count, oddly enough, 4 of those cut runs were in the top 12 moving on to Vegas, which is bizarre. We'll get to that in a second. We had, so no one failed the first 3 obstacles, 1 fail on the diving board, 4 coconut climb fails, no warped wall fails, 3 salmon ladder fails, 12 crazy clocks fails, so that's the ninja killer of the night, 6 snapback fails, and no spider fat trap fails, and of course, 5 course completions. So here's everyone who did not move on. Chris Talon Green, who failed the diving boards, Matthew Day, Rick Hinnett, Madeline McNeil, and Josh Harris, who was cut. Those 4 all failed the coconut climb. Jonathan Horn, Chris Cameron, and Karen Wilton, who all failed the salmon ladder. Elliot Jolivet, Brent Stephenson, Ayla Gonzalez, Jonathan Bange, Josh Norn, Tremaine Dortch, who bizarrely got cut both episodes. I don't know what that's about. He's like a name people recognize who's been competing for quite a while now. It's very bizarre that he got cut both times. Tyler Humphreys and Maggie Thorne, who all failed the crazy clocks. And here are your people moving on to Vegas. 5 people who cleared. Daniel Gill, who had the speed pass and got the fastest time. Matisse Waziri, who won the safety pass. Karsten Williams, Jody Avila, and David Wright. 6 people who failed the snapback, and Jeff Harris. Brian Burkhart, who got cut. Nick Fordney, who also got cut, bizarrely. Josh Salinas, Ben Wales, and Alex Blick, who also got cut. And finally, the last 2 in the top 12 were Kendall Ortiz and Damar Okanovic, who got cut. Those 2 people failed the crazy clock, so barely squeaking through. And finally, your 2 women moving on to Vegas are Taylor Amon and Barclay Stockett, who both failed the crazy clocks. So there you go. Those are all my thoughts on the Oklahoma City finals. Overall, enjoyable episode, but a few editing things that I would personally change. But that's just me. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you vote on what you thought of the episode in the poll. And if you want to see more reviews just like this and be alerted when they go live, make sure you subscribe so you know exactly what happens. If we hit 1,000, I'm playing this thing, baby. Next week is the Seattle-Tacoma finals. We'll see Jesse Graff, Lauren Ball. I'm interested to see if Sean Bryan's even going to run because he has a speed pass. But we'll have to wait and see what happens. But until then, thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya.